we came out with this resource of 3.2 million ounces plus 117,000 tons of copper. Together with Havieron, that takes us north of 10 million ounces. So big endowment.
Greatland Gold has delivered its initial Greatland ore reserve and an updated 2-year outlook for the Telfer Gold Copper Mine. And here to discuss this major milestone is Managing Director Shaun Day. Shaun, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks for having me on Proactive for what's been a busy week for Greatland.
Yeah, busy week. So let's talk about that. You've released that Telfer ore reserve at 712,000 ounces of gold, 23,000 tons of copper. Talk us through the work that delivered this result in such a short time.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Look, a huge amount of work, and really the goal here was to demonstrate that Telfer life continues well into the production of or bring Havieron, the new high grade asset, online. This was really built on the back of Michael Thompson and his team that put together the 3.2 million ounce resource that we announced, I think, about 4 weeks ago. And then Otto Richter, our head of mine planning, has put this reserve together really just 5 months since acquisition, but just 4 weeks after that resource has come out. So it hasn't got everything. We think there's more we can continue to add, but it demonstrates there's no gap, there's extension of Telfer. We think it's a really good snapshot in time. And with the ASX prospectus coming out soon and the SRK reporting that, we were trying to capture that information now, share it with the market so you're not flicking to page 450 of the prospectus to find new information.
And we'll talk about the outlook and feasibility study in a second, but you've got the 2-year outlook to extend the dual train production to FY27. Can you talk me through that?
Yeah, look, we've just focused on this initial 2 years again to demonstrate there's no gap out to Havieron. I think that's the first milestone we wanted to achieve. So again, done it in an extraordinarily short period of time, but I think that's just reflective of the endowment at Telfer. But importantly as well, not only does it show really good production profile, we also think we can continue to add to it. This is a snapshot in time, as I said, to get it out ahead of the prospectus, but we think we can continue to add to it in the back half of this year and into indeed calendar year 26. And importantly, already you can see there's still 19 million tonnes of stockpiles at surface at the end of this 2 years, plus stage 7 of the West Dome open pit continues. So 2 years is just our overview period. We're not saying it's 2 years at Telfer. Clearly, there's more to come.
And I think it's important to note here production and cost benefits as well once Telfer and Havieron have integrated.
Yeah, look, Havieron is about 5 times higher grade than the Telfer open pit. So when that comes in, you should see a step change both in ounces produced being higher, but also costs being lower. Remember, Havieron is globally lowest quartile and certainly on the ASX will be the lowest or perhaps second lowest mine listed. So it's a tremendous platform. The endowment there, it's running plus 9,000 ounces per vertical meter in that top part of the ore body, and almost 8,000 ounces across a full kilometre of vertical extent. So Havieron is a really unique ore body, and when we bring that on, it really augments that Telfer infrastructure. So we ultimately run a single mine. It just incorporates Telfer open pit, Telfer underground, and the Havieron underground to make it better.
So just on that point, Shaun, I mean, you're targeting a higher mining rate of 4.0 to 4.5 million tonnes per year. I'm sure that'll be integrated into feasibility study. So what are you looking at with this feasibility study?
Yeah, look, the real kicker in this announcement is that increase, that expansion of Havieron. Again, beautiful asset, high grade, low cost. And by taking this from the 2.8, we're now adopting a study to try to take this to 4, 4.5 million tonnes per annum. That's a 40 to maybe 60% increase in the size of Havieron. And remember, we already have the bitumen road plan back from Havieron to Telfer. We have the milling capacity in place. So this extra tonnage will be, hugely economic advantageous. And when we look at this, we think about it then being done with a conveyor. That will be subject to the final outcome of that feasibility study, which will be announced in the second half of this year. But that's what we've adopted. And, conveyors are great, good ESG, but even better economic. So we really like that around building Havieron as the mine for the future.
So just finally, Sean, overall opportunities, can you talk me through what they are and the expectations?
Yeah, look, we came out with this resource after of 3.2 million ounces plus 117,000 tonnes of copper. Together with Havieron, that takes us north of 10 million ounces. So big endowment. Today we increase the reserve to complement that. We demonstrate that Telfer reaches out to Havieron. And then it's exciting about what the step change looks when you're operating both together in due course. But of course, we get to continue to add. We get to continue to add resource. We think we can continue to add mine life at Telfer and then look at the optimizations, particularly as we bring higher grade in. That's typically associated with more ounces, lower cost. And one of the real prizes in the portfolio already is the second drive we're doing out to West Dome underground, which I think reflects some conviction we have there. So we're excited, increasing the number of drill rigs, trying to focus on productivity, and hugely grateful for the team at Greatland and the team out at the Telfer site for all the hard work they're doing. There's a beautiful set of numbers I'm able to present, and that's their hard work. So the team is really humming right now.
Yeah, Sean, you achieved plenty in a short amount of time, and I'm sure there's plenty more to achieve as we move forward. But thanks for your time today, and look forward to speaking with you again.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks again.